Hi there and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're talking about 5 design things that you need to stop doing right now. If you're doing these in your home, they need to be dead. They need to be gone. Get out of here. They need to be gone. Okay, I'm so distracted. There is like a mallard in my pool. It's made its home here. There's a girl one that's not as pretty. Why is it that the birds, the males, get to be so beautiful? Okay, first design thing to go are accent walls. And by accent walls, I mean that one wall that you decided, I'm gonna paint that wall in my bedroom red. And my advice is, if you're gonna do this, go all the way, commit all the way and do the whole room. And one YouTuber that I adore here on YouTube, one YouTuber is the House of Valentina, and she does beautiful homes. Her home is very like black and white, and by black it's like dark charcoals, not like stark black. But she has in her room, like where she did paint like her fireplace all black. And so if you're gonna, it has to be a statement if you're just gonna do one wall. It can't just be like, if you have like a normal square room, you just do your one wall. That's not enough. You have to make it a statement, actually, like your whole room. And she, at House of Valentina, she even does like the door frame, the baseboard, the molding, the ceiling, all in the color. She like commits 100%. And I love that. I'm not sure I'm bold enough to do that, but I love it in her home. And you see it and you think, wow, it really does work. So she gives you like enough courage to do it. So, but I just don't like when you dip in your toe in it by painting the wall. And I cannot stand for it. Okay, so my point is, if you're gonna commit to being bold on your wall, be bold everywhere. Commit like you would to someone else. Don't cheat on this style. Go all the way. Paint your whole room and the ceiling included. That's my design thing to stop doing. So either paint that wall back to the rest of the walls if you aren't gonna fully commit, or go for it. Go for it hard. Okay, number 2 thing that you need to stop doing right now is if you have words all over your house. No more, stop it. You are in a farmhouse, unless you actually are in a farmhouse. You don't need to say farmhouse. You don't need to say family. You're in a home. Of course, that's where families live. I would assume that your family is there. So there's no reason to say family. We know that that's where you reside. Or I don't need you to say laundry room. Unless you have a housekeeper who has no idea where to go in your 20,000 square foot house to find the laundry room, that it needs to be labeled, then fine. But if that's not you, which I'm guessing it's not, because that's very few people that have a 20,000 square foot house. So unless that's you, you don't need to specify rooms. It's unnecessary. We know where your laundry room is. You're probably doing your own laundry and you know where your laundry room is. So stop it. The one exception to this would be like something very sentimental. That would be, I remember watching Architectural Digest's YouTube channel. A few years ago, they did John Stamos, I remember. And he had on like a gallery wall, he had a framed letter from his father. That was beautiful. And I loved that touch to his home. It was a really heartfelt letter his father had written him, and he framed that. So that would be an exception, would be something like that. But generally, if you found these words at Home Goods or TJ Maxx, or heaven forbid you made them yourself, no, get it out. Take it to the Goodwill, get it out of your house. Don't take it to someone at Goodwill is gonna buy it and put it in their house. So I don't like to say just don't throw things away, but no. Get rid of it. You don't need it. Minimal, simple. People know that it's your family. People know that you're in your kitchen. You don't need to say that you're in your kitchen. Okay, the number 3 thing that you need to stop doing if you're doing is going bananas with gallery walls. I actually love a really well executed gallery wall. I think they can be really personalized and a statement part of your home. I actually love, Kylie Jenner has up her staircase like a gallery wall, and I love that. I think they can be done very well. The problem is when like every wall in your house is a gallery wall, or they are crooked because you have too many and they're too small, and I can't stand that. If one of them is even off, it's a no-go. Or if you have the proportions wrong. Sometimes you have like this huge wall and you do this little gallery wall. Like you don't commit. Again, you gotta commit. You gotta go all the way. Do bigger frames or bigger pictures, or pick a smaller wall and do it. So it's just a matter of having a good eye and knowing what proportions of photos, how to mix and match the frames. Do you do all the same frame, different frames? I think both can be done well. It's just a matter of, if you don't think you can do it well, then just nothing is better than poorly executed, in my opinion. So if you're gonna go gallery wall, get out a level, really study it out before you start nailing those picture frames in. Okay, my fourth thing to stop doing if you're doing is too much DIY. Now, I'm not a hater on DIY. This mirror behind me, I'm actually planning a restoration hardware DIY thrift flip with it. I'm just gonna spray paint it, don't get too crazy. And maybe add like a medallion to the top. I love that gilded mirror, there's a few of them from restoration. So I'm not against having a good eye and being able to make something amazing of yourself. I'm all for the saving money, I'm all for the saving the planet, but the problem is when your whole house looks like you've been on Pinterest for way too long, that you've had a hot glue gun and a hammer and some spray paint, and you've made your whole house look DIY. And that, I think, is a bad idea. And in the end, these DIY projects can sometimes save you a lot of money, but sometimes you have to get a lot of supplies, you have to get materials, you have to get the tools, and it might not actually be saving you that much money in the long run. And you're better off not doing those 5 DIYs and just buying like that one beautiful piece to replace those, that you could have had just one beautiful statement for the same price. So, and some people are really good at DIYs and other people are like the DIY fails. So in my opinion, oftentimes less is more, and DIY less is more. If I see one more shabby chic DIY paint thing where you paint it one color and then you paint it like a lighter color and then you sand it away to get those like you can see through, I feel like you're gonna get lead poisoning from the chipping paint. No, stop, no. Take that and your farmhouse eggs and get it out of your house. And for the record, back to farmhouse, I had to go back. I have nothing against actual farmhouses. My grandmother in New York lives on an actual farm, and she doesn't need to say farmhouse across it. You know that she's in a farmhouse. There's a barn down the hill. It's an actual farmhouse. So if you live on a farm, you don't need to specify that you do. There's chickens and goats and hay in a barn. You'll know that that's where you are. So for me, it's just the labeling of said house. If you need to label it that way, you probably don't live in it. And so maybe don't do that design style. It doesn't work for your home. I think people sometimes try to fit a square peg into a round hole. Your home is a modern design and you're making it farmhouse. It doesn't work. So sometimes you have to kind of go with the bones that your house are. And some homes are more versatile than others, but sometimes farmhouse isn't gonna work. And putting out fresh eggs in your kitchen isn't gonna convince anyone otherwise. Okay, back to the next thing. Okay, the last thing, number 5, are poorly hung drapes. And this one gets my blood boiling. I hate it when I see drapes that come down and the floor is right here and they stop right here. I just want to rip them off the wall. I won't do that at your house. I'll be a polite guest, but in my head I'll be thinking, you got to get those all the way to the floor. So the best way to hang drapes, I'm not an interior designer. I've just watched enough HGTV to know you want to hang them at the highest point that you can and have them go all the way to the floor. And I like them touching the floor. Some people say kiss the floor. That's your preference, if they kiss it or if they touch it. I actually love when there's like a lot of fabric at the end and it kind of like billows up. The issue with that is it will get dusty and dirty. So maybe that's not the most practical, but I do love how that looks. So, but it's when it's like you're wearing capris and your pants are supposed to belong to the floor and your heels look really bad with the pants. It's like a poorly hemmed pair of trousers is what I think of when I see drapes that don't come all the way to the floor. To my unhumble opinion, in my opinion, how about that? I won't give a qualifier for it. My opinion, now I've lost what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? Oh, I know. In my opinion, it's better to have no drapes at all than poorly hung ones. So you're better off just letting the light in, letting your neighbors in the back see you. You're better having no drapes at all, let the light in, let your neighbors in the backyard see you, than having them above the floor. It's an abomination to have them off the floor. Don't do it. You're better off having no privacy, in my opinion. So either do it right or not at all. And you get, and for me, we actually in our back of our house have no drape. We also have privacy in the back, so no one can see in. So if you need to have the privacy of window treatments, do them right, and don't have them be too sparse. I mean, go for a statement. And they really should also be, speaking of the drapes, they need to be linen, cotton, or silk, or a blend of those. My skin crawls when I see those like sheeny taffeta things with some pattern in them, or they're like tufted somehow. Those are bad. And especially if those are hung at the wrong length. Oh, ooh, stop it right now. Go get scissors and cut those off the wall if that's what you have. I'm just joking. Don't do it right now. Do it after the video, of course. So those are my 5 tips. I hope you took this lightheartedly, nothing too serious. If you like this video though, give it a thumbs up so I know to do more, because I have lots of opinions. I could probably do 100 of these, but these were just the 5 that came to my mind first. So if you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe. Please comment on what things you hate, what home design things that make you lose your mind. Maybe you're not as opinionated as me. Funny side note, my sister-in-law, if you're watching, hi. My sister-in-law once said to me that it must be exhausting to have as many opinions as I have in my head. And to that I say, thank you. And sometimes it is. If you are a victim of these, or rather a perpetrator, if you are a perpetrator of any of these 5, please let me know. Let me know if you disagree. I'd love to hear. And I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.